It's the 145th episode of the Mina's House podcast. Welcome. I am Mina SayWhat.
I'm Shana B.
Barnett Briscoe, a.k.a. Sherlock Homeboi.
Dexter Stuckey, a.k.a. Dexter One.
Oh, look who changed up their intro.
I heard Garnett do it, and I said, why don't you do it like that? And I just tried to flow with him.
Yeah, just make our intro longer. It's already awkward at times. And we have Brother Malcolm joining us today.
Always. I'm starting to get the hang of these glasses stuff, man. I'm really not in the context too much no more.
You know what? You got your felonies expunged. Now you wearing glasses? What's happening?
Listen, I'm a new man. That's hilarious.
I wasn't trying to throw shots. I was making an observation. Right.
No, that's funny. That is hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. I feel good. I feel good, though. That was a really long process. So
I do think it's cool that you're transparent about it.
Yeah,
I'm trying to be as much as possible. I really am, because I hold a lot of stuff to myself. So I think actually expressing it is helping me too. So
yeah, talk about the process. How hard is it to become felony free?
Well, it really depends on your charge to see if you are eligible for it at all or how long it takes. So I know mine, I had an early expungement procedure. So it had to be 5 years after whatever, like whether it was probation or parole or something like that. As soon as when that is up, that's when your 5 years start. So I basically, I went on Google. It's actually like a really funny story, but I go on Google, to check, to see if I'm eligible. I'm reading up on it, and I'm like, okay, let me reach out to a lawyer. I Googled the first one. For some reason, I went on the site. I'm like, I don't know. I really don't like this one.
Uh-huh.
It's not popping up. I don't know. I went to the second one. I reached out to him the next day. A woman ends up calling me, and
you was like, sold.
Yes. So, the woman ends up calling me. I pick up, and she screams. She ended up screaming out my childhood nickname, which is Pooh. So she was like, "Is this Pooh?" And I'm like, wow. She was like, did people ever call you Pooh? And I'm like, yes. She's like, oh my God, I can't believe, I'm actually getting a chance to talk to you. It was my next door neighbor. When I was growing up, me and her son was best friends. And
oh my God.
And that was the house where, my dad ended up, killing my mom. So during that time, so it was kind of funny that I run into her, during this. So it was like the second Google was definitely the better one.
Right.
So,
that was God.
I ended up taking a sign, I took it from God, and, she walked me through the process, basically, told me how much it would be, gave me a discount, which was even better. And then from there, she basically did all of the paperwork and stuff like that. And then it was just like a waiting game, basically. So that there is a way that you can do it by yourself, which is a good way. But I just ended up going to the lawyer, and I ended up finding, somebody that I already knew from when I was 8 years old, which is super easy.
We proud of you, Pooh.
Yes, we're so excited for you. Right, that's
my
your new intro.
When I saw you posted, I'm like, I want to use an emoji, but I'm like, do you use the clapping emoji? Do you put the
Right now, yeah, it's a crazy thing to be proud of, right? But it is though. It is. It actually felt good.
It is, especially if people were to know your story, they would know that you were just you were reacting to a situation, which is what a lot of people get caught up in, reacting to a situation, and then you get that felony stamp. And when you think felony, we think like the worst thing.
Right.
Like armed robbery, like,
or
rape.
Like he didn't rape somebody.
Right. Because it's such a blanket statement.
And that's why, you know, like going into interviews and stuff like that, that's why that can be kind of demoralizing at times because like I've gotten jobs. This was when I first, you know, had the felony. So I really didn't know what jobs I was eligible for at the time. So I'm still applying. I'm going to the interviews. And it was actually a Sprint. I wanted to work in their sales department. So I killed the interview. I got called back for the second one. You know, the guy told me basically, you know, he's going to walk me through everything to get set up to, you know, for a new hire. I ended up getting a call back and he's like, hey, listen, you know, something came up on your record. They're not saying what it is, but it just shows up red. So he's like, sorry, you know, I can't hire you. But I say that to say it doesn't explain anything.
Right.
You know, it's no context to it. This is just it. You know, so they can look at you and take that however way they want.
Yeah, and then even when I was trying to get Garnett jobs, like I would be like, have to tell them up front, like he has a felony on his record. It's, you know, it's not like a super bad thing, but like tell him Garnett and I have had these conversations on the podcast about even trying to get a job when you have that on your back, you know, like, do you wait for them to do the background check? Do you tell them up front? But if you tell them up front, are they going to take the interview?
Right. That's something personally I had to go through it in order to know. So like the experience of like, well, like, you know, should I tell them? Should I not tell them? Because of the embarrassment that, you know, I might feel from doing it, or just maybe just thinking, all right, well, maybe they won't find it, but it pops up on everybody else's report, right? I had to go through that to eventually get to the point where I kind of I didn't want to waste time, because all that was doing was prolonging the inevitable. So it's either you're going to do it or you're not. So I started to be proactive, where that's the first thing I'm saying when I'm calling them or emailing them was, hey, listen, you know, do you guys hire felons? And that's how I started to get a lot of my jobs. I had to kind of switch my mindset to be aggressive and just, you know, I was just, when I ended up working at Boost Mobile, I just walked in and asked them, hey, listen, I need a job. Do you need help?
Right. I was going to say, because that process, like you said, it can be really demoralizing. I know, you know, someone too, he's no longer here, my boyfriend at the time, and he's passed since, but he got a felony for illegally buying a gun legally, if that makes sense. So he bought a gun from a store. He went through the legal process.
Legal, right.
Well, he had a juvenile record for like having weed at school. So when he got caught with it, the judge's point is you're told as a juvenile you can't do certain things. But his point is I went into the store, they ran my record, and we're like, okay, here you go, you know, took his $1,000. But her point is the burden is on you, which I thought was ridiculous. I mean, the burden is on him, but I also feel like, but the store doesn't have a burden. And her comment was the store just wants to make a sale. And now, thank God, since then, that store is closed because that's happened to so many.
Let's tell to people who are shooting up kids.
Right. The store was on Spring Garden Street. It actually is a police, like where the police go to buy guns. So it has since closed because that's what happened. But again, he had nothing. He goes, he's driving around in North Philly, gets stopped in the car. You know, they search it, they find the gun in the trunk, and now he gets a 5-year felony. And so he went from having, you know, good jobs, GlaxoSmithKline and, you know, Independence Blue Cross, to not barely being able to work at Wawa. And just that process to watch, like, and closely watch, you know, someone you love go through that is seriously hard. So just knowing that you're going through that to get to this, like, I'm so happy and so proud of you. I'm just so happy for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Y'all about to make me get on.
And for anyone listening, like, don't shut yourself off to that. If you are in the position to hire people, if someone is a felon, ask them why, you know, because maybe this person did do something really bad, but maybe they didn't. So give somebody the benefit of the doubt to tell you the story, so that you can then go and make a decision on your own, you know?
Right.
All right, so let's get into what's in our feed. Big news, Cardi B filing for divorce. Not surprised here. However, kind of surprised because Offset, so they're saying it's infidelity. We've known Offset's been cheating. So, and you know, she doesn't have she doesn't have to explain to us what's going on in her personal relationship, but because there's been so much cheating and so much evidence and it's been public, you kind of start assuming that she's okay with it, you know? Yeah. Because of the tolerance and the forgiveness, right? But she's filing for divorce, so she's not okay with it.
Well, she's okay with it. It's just that this is just me pulling this out of wherever. I'm convinced that maybe a month from now, we're going to find out that Offset has somebody pregnant. And that's the reason.
That's what I thought too.
I was thinking the same thing. Like this is the last straw. Because there was an alleged sex tape. You know, she went into the strip club and fought the two strippers. Yep. So it's like
she still has charges pending.
Right. So she's been dealing with the cheating, and I started thinking, what was the camel that broke? What was the straw that broke the camel's back? There's a child.
Yeah,
allegedly.
You are spot on. You're spot on, because I thought the same thing. Like, you know, this is a man. Like, even remember a couple months ago, before we got into like COVID, or maybe it was more than a couple months ago, there was that whole like Twitter incident, and she claimed like it was hacked, although everybody was like nobody else was hacked or whatever, and you know he was in it. And I'm like, again, this has been going on. To your point of being surprised, like, again, are we surprised in the long run it's happening? Maybe not. But I'm like, just 2 weeks ago, y'all was posting, singing with the family videos. So that's why I felt like it's so abrupt. It shows you she filed today. I'm like, it had to be something like a baby, and it couldn't be just another chick.
Wait, but is it possible? Because we were just talking about getting records expunged. If we're together and you cheat on me and I beat up the person that you cheated on me with, and then we break up, I feel like I shouldn't get that charge. That charge should go away.
Yeah, the courts don't think like that.
You're to a different court system. That's all. That's a different court system.
To be honest, though, I feel bad for her, because
I feel horrible for her.
How many people, like, there are so many people who have been in this situation where it's dysfunctional, and because you love this person, you keep giving them opportunities and tries. And he went on the apology tour, and you know he bought the cake out and did the most, and it's like you keep trying, but the other person keeps letting you down. At a certain point, you got to do something to make that person understand you can't keep doing this. Right. And this has to be hard on her, because she loves that man to death. I mean, it's clear she done dealt with everything that he's dished so far.
Yeah, that's just like the ultimate, I guess, like embarrassment. You know, I and that's what I hear from a lot of women. Is like, you don't embarrass me, and you know, you really can't come back from that. I mean, that's up to you if you want to forgive him, but that's a really tough thing to get over. So if that is the case, I can completely understand, especially having to go through that much already in such a public eye. And, you know, what's really sad is now, you know, I'm pretty sure she was trying to work it out for the child that y'all have, you know, to live this beautiful, you know, fairy tale lifestyle, but you couldn't even, you know, keep your stuff in its pants, you know, for that. So that's just kind of heartbreaking to see. I do think that what she said in the article was kind of interesting, though, going back to divorces and things like that. How, I guess, because, you know, she probably makes more money than Offset, I would assume, being a bigger artist, that, you know, she wants to divvy up the money, you know, since they've been married.
Well, I was going to say, don't sleep on Offset, because the one thing I did not know to the Revolt Summit is he actually is a ghostwriter for a lot of people. And I didn't know that, because he was a part of the songwriters panel. And I'm like, well, why has Offset on there? And then when they started naming these songs that he goes, I had no idea. So apparently he does a lot, which brings me to my next point. Because I was like, well, how was he cheating? We were in deep quarantine. They were all together. And I'm like, oh. You were going to the studio. You was going to the studio.
Don't blame it.
Somebody was at the studio. I'm just saying, like, we've been in very, you know, we're just getting, and like, Dexter was saying, they've been in LA, not really in Atlanta as much. It's been like they can't do anything really there. So you're not traveling on shows, you're not on tour. So this had to be like, oh, I'm gonna just go work with such and such in the studio type joint.
That's crazy.
I just hope it's not another child. I hope it's not. I really hope, but it definitely crossed my mind because that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
You know, and like, bruh, that's reckless. It's not even I can't stop cheating. That's I have zero respect for you. I'm going in raw in some other chick. Like that is like next level disrespect. I have zero consideration for you. Like at least strap up. Now you possibly bring in diseases to me during quarantine. Like how am I going to?
I was about to say maybe it was that.
Maybe shut down.
Maybe it was that. Maybe he brought something home and that wasn't a child. But you know, like we don't. How would I get this kind of thing? You know, you don't know. I do just feel like it had to be something significant more than just another woman. It's something that she feels like is going to come out and be embarrassing because that thing was filed today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One last thing I wanted to say on that is what I hate about the internet though, and I hate the internet. I love the internet sometimes, but I hate it. Is now everybody, of course, is talking about WAP, and they're like, "See, you gotta do this, you gotta do," and I'm like, "We don't know what happened. We don't know what happened." And unfortunately, no amount of having great sex is going to keep a man that just doesn't that wants to cheat.
Well, I was going to say, she put something up on her Instagram saying her heart finally told her to stop wasting her time. Maybe that's exactly what it is. Like, maybe it's just, I'm wasting my time with you. There's no growth. There's no change. You keep doing the same things. Maybe it's not, I'm playing devil's advocate here. We're jumping off the deep end. We like baby, STD, he going raw dog, but I'm saying, or maybe it's as simple as he just keeps cheating and she's like, nothing is changing. I got a whole case because of your cheating.
Yeah.
And like, I just can't keep doing this.
Not to mention Cardi B's 27 years old. Like how many 27-year-olds do you know who are married? I know she's different than the average 27-year-old, but like these kids are very young. Like they're extremely young. So it's kind of like
you are not that much older. You just made them stop. These kids
aren't younger than me.
But they like 2-3 years younger than you, not like 15. Well, these kids.
These kids.
But let me say,
I got you though.
So when she got engaged, I was there. I was on the stage when he asked her to marry him, which now we know they were already married, right? But he did that for show. But I was on the stage. I was next to her mother when it happened. I was backstage with her, and then I did her first interview. So I put that picture up. Someone sent it to me today. I didn't even, people take pictures and you never see them. But someone posted a picture of her showing me her ring like this, and I'm like looking at it. And I posted it, and someone said, "Oh, I guess that that WAP wasn't good enough." And
that's what I'm saying.
It kind of struck my nerve a little bit because I'm like, what does her vagina have to do with him cheating?
Right.
Like, he's the one recurrently cheating.
What you said, Dex?
She said it. It's not. People weren't pulling that out of their butts and just randomly saying it. They're saying it in a reference to something that she said.
Well, I know, but at the end of the day, like the reality of where, even if she says it in the song, you can't keep no man that don't want to be kept. Like you can have amazing
right
day and all night with him, but some men have that drive just to
cheat,
to cheat, to have other women like. And she probably a busted chick. I'm not going to talk about the girl if it's a girl, and you don't know.
But like that gets under my skin. Like she files for divorce and she got trash pussy. Like come on, bro. She filed for divorce.
That's why I hate the internet. Like, it was like all these things.
Don't talk about her vagina. You won't know about her vagina. And just because she got a WAP song don't mean she talking about her WAP. That's A.
But and my other thing is, why he always got to act up like during her shine times? Like, don't y'all feel like he always act up like during her moments and her like these moments that should just be hers and to be about her music, whatever? He always doing something.
I don't know. I feel like he always acting up.
We just don't even know.
Because when she went to the strip club and had to beat up them two girls, there was nothing going on.
Yeah, so we didn't even know until she got arrested.
He's definitely consistent. He's consistent.
And remember when he was playing video games and they were saying that he was texting someone on his second phone and then she came in and hit it? Do you remember that?
Yeah. And
they was making a big deal out of it. All I know is I know this is hard on her because she loves that man. So she's doing this out of respect for herself. Right. And that takes a lot of courage. Right. And she's asking for full custody. So that has to be hard. And, I just sending out prayers. Marriage is hard. It's hard work. It requires, and I've never been married. I don't have kids, so I don't know. But everybody says it's a full-time job trying to keep your marriage together. You have to communicate. You have to talk. You have to sometimes go to counseling. Right. So, everybody has their stuff. Her stuff is just the cheating. Everybody's dealing with something in the relationship. It don't matter how they portray themselves to be. They all happy. They all this. Everybody is dealing with something. And they could be a day or 2 days or 2 weeks or 2 months away from breaking up. It all comes down to how you deal with the issues in your relationship. Period. Moving on. Speaking of dealing with relationships and old relationships, Lil Baby, he's on top of the world right now. His album, My Turn, went 2 times platinum. The only artist this year to do that. The first artist, the only artist. And he has all this baby mama drama. So we talked about this last week. The mother of his oldest son, he's 5 years old. She's been the one on social media talking about, oh, you won't give your kid enough money for the school that I want to send him, blah, blah, blah. So I wanted to have this conversation about the kid's birthday party because they had 2 separate birthday parties and they weren't at each other's birthday parties at all. So he had his birthday party for his son and she had her birthday party for her son. And then apparently he raps to the little kid. So she posted videos of him rapping and, kind of talk about how he's not there to see these moments of, his kid's like album release party or whatever. I wanted to have a conversation about that because is that okay? Is it normal? I don't have kids. None of us have kids. But what do you guys think about that? Like, is it okay for parents to have 2 separate parties for their kids?
You can go first next.
I would say no. I think that unless we hate each other to the point where we can't even be around each other, then I guess you don't have a choice. But I think it becomes one of those things where the kid then has to compare, which one do I like more? And then you get to that point where it's I don't want to go to dad's house anymore. I just want to stay here at your house. And I always look at 50 Cent's situation with his oldest son, this is not how it should be. And something had to happen to get to that point. You know what I mean? Because 50 says that his oldest son is not loyal and he's disrespectful. So it's one of those situations where it could have started out where everything was normal. And then out of nowhere, because of how the mom is acting, because of how 50's acting, now we're totally separate. And I just think the kid in the long run hurts with that.
Right. So to your point, I don't think it's okay, but it unfortunately depends on the maturity level of both parents to co-parent. I don't have kids, but I have friends and family in both situations. I have one that I'm not even going to talk about because he's so petty. He would take this podcast to court and try to use this against her. But that's my point. So it was at a point where she was very open, we could even go to the movies together. I don't want to be with you. You don't want to be with me, but let's still, they were married. So let's still have some type of semblance for our child. But he kind of made it really ugly. And now he kind of gets mad that he's not, you created these very separate things. And even still, I will say she does try to extend hey, we're going to do this. Do you want to be there? Where I think it kind of sounds like in this Lil Baby situation, the way she was wording it, I feel like that's the situation where it's it sounded like she was saying she's extended the invitation. Hey, we're going to have, I can't remember the little boy's name, party. do you want to be there? And maybe he didn't come, but she kind of felt like on his end, he definitely doesn't invite her. And just because I see that happen so much, I don't think it should happen, but it's unfortunate. But again, it goes back to the maturity level of the parents and the situation of how are we going to properly co-parent our child.
Yeah, this is strictly this is a parent's issue. This doesn't have anything to do with the kid at all. It's unfortunate that, the kid seems like is being used as a pawn for whichever party to get what they want, ultimately. So whether it be birthday parties, like Dex was saying, whether it be what Shana was saying as well, it's just not a good look for the child. And I'm not sure if they're thinking about that while they're going through their own process. So I guess that's what happens when you're young and love and, you don't know how to act in a situation right now. They both got some money, so I'm not sure, how they should do it.
And to your point, it hurts the child. It hurts the child.
I will say it's very unfortunate because, the child, their relationship is so damaged that they can't even be in the same room to celebrate the birth of their child. But I will say, I think it's okay that they had two separate parties because it's sad, but the reality of this situation is there's a lot of hostility here. There's a lot of pettiness. And I would rather they separate it instead of trying to have one and then it be petty or people are fighting or the kid sees severe dysfunction. He currently is dating Jada. So what? He doesn't bring his current girlfriend to his son's birthday party because his mother's there. It just creates all this messiness. So it is sad that they can't have one party for the child, and it does hurt the child. But I think in some situations, the parenting and it's so petty and it's just so damaged, the relationship between parents, that sometimes it's better to keep it separate.
I actually think that's good what you said as well. I didn't think about that, until you really just said it. But I actually, know people that's what they do, even with child support, so to speak, where, if they're paying a certain amount, it's like, well, I'm going to keep all of their clothes here because I paid for them. So I actually get the train of thought where it's like, no, you got this. I already give you enough for this. You not taking credit for that. I'm going to do this. And he got clothes here, video. He basically got two of the same lives, at different houses. But yeah, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's a difficult situation because some people think all holidays need to be spent together. If you have a child together, you want to kind of, even though you're parenting separately, you want to at least create these family moments with your child. So I was even dating a guy that every holiday he would spend with them as a family. So it's like there's these expectations that you still have to try to pretend to be a family, but you have to think sometimes if there's that much dysfunction, are you doing more harm or good trying to portray this family where you can't even be a civil and healthy and a friendly family?
Yeah, that's why I say it goes to maturity level, the maturity level, unfortunately, of the parents and, whatever they've gone through to get to that point that they're now co-parenting. It really, I've seen it be awesome in some circumstances. I've been a child of that, until my father passed. And then I've seen it be, like I said, in that one situation, I've seen it be really horrible to where, again, even as a godparent, it'll trickle down to no, she's not taking her on my weekend. So it can be these real extremes. So I do agree. If you know that there's going to be a problem, for the better, although, yes, there might be times when our child looks back and have to compare these parties because they both look like they were trying to outdo each other, just saying. But, for the betterment of our child, again, if I'm going to be fighting with dad's girlfriend, or I'm going to be like, what'd she say?
Right.
Let's not do that for our child either, because that's just going to be
just
traumatizing.
And why would Lil Baby invite her if his girlfriend's gonna be there
and knowing they have an issue?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's an automatic, like you said, that's a fight right there. That's going to be a fight.
Yeah, I definitely think it's deeper than that because I like people.
Well,
really
I think she wants him still.
Well,
right.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
Because I mean, people really love their children and they want to see those moments. So to say that, you know, I wish he was here for this, knowing that he wish he was there for it too, but it has to be a reason why he isn't there. So to me, it just has to be a little bit deeper to even a girlfriend thing. Because even dudes, they'll leave their girlfriend home to go do something with their child.
Exactly.
She's been dragging him all over the internet. I wouldn't invite you to my party either. You put all of our business on the internet. Like, girl.
It also goes to that whole thing that, like, I get what you guys are saying. Well, specifically, you mean that when you're saying, like, if there's going to be animosity, let's just keep it separate. But at the same time, though, like, I think it still just goes back to maturity because, like, yeah, okay, we kept it separate. We had 2 separate birthday parties. But like you just said, she's dragging him on social media, which I don't think I think that stays in the house, too. I think if she's dragging him publicly, doing it privately to the child, too. And I think at some point, you have to let that stuff go and you have to come together. And separate parties is just not the way to go about that. Like, if you're having separate parties, that means you're still talking trash about each other, probably around the child.
I'm with you, Dex. I'm with you because to your point, there's no way that she's saying this all on social media. And we've seen these parties. This boy definitely got some cell phone, iPads, something that he can follow both of his parents and see like what is going on. But that just tells me there's definitely conversations in the house of what your dad did, but what you do. You know what I mean? Like that then makes the child feel like I have to compare these experiences and I have to kind of be in the middle of what's going on with my parents rather than just being a child.
Child is messy. Well, moving on. I want to talk about Neicy Nash. Because apparently, don't mute yourself, Dex. Don't be shady. Shady. Did you mute yourself?
No, I said you have a crush on Neicy Nash. Like, we talk about her.
First of all, I don't go that way. But
apparently, if she had a deep connection with you, you might.
But apparently, I was right about Neicy Nash. Y'all all drag me talking about no.
If you get right, or is this just what she said?
No, I was right.
Okay.
So my perspective on Neicy Nash was she actually was into men and then met this woman and now is into women because of this woman, right?
Because she always liked women.
No, she likes this one. So that's your perspective. She always liked women. Shana, you said when you met her, she was mean to you, so she must have liked you.
She was.
Right? So y'all all up and down talk about no, Mina. Well, out of Neicy Nash's mouth, and I quote, I'm not coming out. This has nothing to do with gender and everything to do about her soul.
Okay. There's a person who's bisexual.
So my choice now in a partner has nothing to do with who I've been or always been. It's a matter of who I am in this moment.
And she's a bisexual woman in this moment. And that's okay. Look at Andrew Gillum.
She said
yesterday, it's okay.
She said that she's not coming out.
She also just told us last year as women, we needed to give our husbands and men head every day. So I'm not listening to her. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying.
I don't oppose to that.
She was giving relationship advice for how to keep a man. And now she's telling me her soul connected deeply with this woman. I can't listen to these.
So what? She can't like men because she likes women now?
No, I say she likes both. She's had to have an attraction to both.
He just said she's not coming out.
I know what she said, but she also told me last year that she was going to be with her husband because she giving him head.
Right, because at that time, she was into her husband.
She flip-flops.
That moment, she was into him.
Can I say...
At that moment,
yeah, can I just say y'all got a personal vendetta against Neicy Nash, and I don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't
like it.
I don't, but I definitely feel like that was like the most PC and smoothest way of avoiding saying that you like women. Like that's like people with she just didn't want to be referred to as gay or bisexual. That's why she's like she replaced that with, I connected on it, it's a soul thing. It's like, no, you can just say exactly like what it is to the people. Like you know what question they're asking you, but you didn't want to answer it that way.
Like you didn't have a sneaky link up in a hotel and got caught. Like it's not like something like that. This is not what's happening here. If she had a sneaky link up in a hotel and we saw it and she wanted to deny it, okay, I get it. You married a woman. Like, that makes you something. Like,
no. Okay, so you don't think there's at all, and we're talking about sexuality here, so you don't think there's any kind of any possibility that she has never dealt with a woman until she met this woman?
I think that's true. I believe that.
That could be totally true.
That's what I'm saying.
No, but what I'm saying to you, and I said this to you in the other pod, but there has to be an attraction to the opposite sex, and that's okay. I'm not going to just fall in love with a woman. I don't care how deep. You might be a good friend if our souls connect deeply, because that's not my attraction. So that's what I'm just saying. Like, yeah, I mean, I know people who have had, maybe one female that they've ever dealt with. But again, they will tell you, like, yeah, but I'm bisexual. Like, that just is the one that I personally connected with and dated or whatever. But it doesn't mean that I don't look at a woman's ass and be like, damn, or, whatever.
But that doesn't mean they were bisexual prior to that. That's what
they have said they are. They've said they are. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're okay with that, but their preference is men.
Can I ask you a question, Mina?
Sure.
So when Neicy Nash first announced this, right, on August 31st, I see a picture that she posted. She wrote, "Miss Carol Denise Betts," right, which is her real name. Is there a reason she used the rainbow flag and hashtag love wins if she's not gay or part of the LGBTQ community?
Okay, guys, come on. This is semantics.
I know, semantics. She's bisexual. I know.
Okay, maybe her partner is clear. Oh my. Okay, so she's dealing with a woman and she dealt with a man. So clearly now she is bisexual. All I was trying to say is it doesn't necessarily have to mean that she's been bisexual the whole time. That's all I was trying to say. And you guys were like, no, if she liked women today, she liked her yesterday. There is a strong possibility that she completely was into men, sucking penis every night, as she told you, Shana, to do. And then all of a sudden things are not going well with her marriage. There's this person there for her, and she figures out, I have a deeper connection with this person than just friendship, and this person just happens to be a woman. That can happen, guys.
100%.
So I still disagree. And what I'm saying is, not that I know all of them, I just know a lot of bisexual people who will tell you, although they may have never acted on it, never even wanted to, they've had a feeling where they maybe never met that person, that man or that woman, but they grew up knowing what they're attracted to.
Oh my God.
That's all I'm saying.
There is nothing I can say, Shana.
No, it ain't going to be on that one.
She ain't giving that one up.
All right. I just wanted to bring this up so we can have this debate and people can decide what they think.
So Neicy Nash hit up Nina next because she believes you, and
I do. I believe that she can have this one particular singular connection with this woman, and it doesn't mean that she's been dealing with women the whole time.
But see, you keep saying dealing with women, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you dated a bunch of women. I'm saying there's an inherent attraction to women, though. I'm not saying you dated.
Nothing
you could have never dated any women. Like, you could have never dated any men.
But nothing that she said was about attraction. It was about soul. You can fall in love with someone's soul and then become attracted to them. It doesn't mean that you were attracted to the sex previously to that.
That issue is my issue is not she liked anything before or anything like that. I agree with you with there. Where we disconnect is where you're saying it's okay that she said she's not coming out, but you're married to a woman.
Then that's the other thing. That's what makes it even worse about her statement.
Okay, but the connotation behind coming out, I feel like it's like this is something you've been doing this whole time and now you're announcing. That's what I feel like coming out is. So that's why I think she was like, right.
You didn't meet yesterday, so you've been doing it. You married.
Oh my God. Okay, Andrew Gillum came out. This is something that he told his wife before he married her that he was bisexual. That's coming out. You've been
allegedly.
For those who don't know who Andrew Gillum is, let me refresh. He ran for Florida governor, and he lost.
Almost won.
He lost. He was going to be Florida's first Black governor, and then these pictures surfaced of him naked next to another man. The other man had overdosed. He had vomit all over himself. So allegedly, they were saying that he was gay, having threesomes and foursomes, being high off meth. And people were happy that they did not vote for him because they thought that he was a gay meth addict that was binging and having sex with random people and cheating on his wife.
But in reality, that was his first time doing that. Like, he connected to those people's soul.
No, that's not the case here. He was drunk and was with this man because he's bisexual. Okay.
Right. I'm not saying that there's different levels.
There's a difference, guys. That's coming out. You've been doing this. You went into a man.
Now been dating this woman for some time. They didn't just wake up and get married.
Okay, but she hasn't been dating her for 3-4 years. They were friends first. It's possible for a friendship to turn into something sexual.
Mina, me and you are friends. I'm not marrying you.
You ain't gay. You ain't gay and you ain't got lesbian swag.
Our souls have connected as friends, and I'm not marrying you.
Shana, you don't have lesbian swag. I've been around lesbian swag. It is real. Okay, it is real. Lesbians be having game, and it never worked on me, but I've seen it happen. I've seen it. I was on a basketball team for years.
Oh God,
lesbians be having funny. And y'all didn't want to talk about this.
Shana, did Neicy have the lesbian swag when she met you?
She's not a lesbian.
She was mean. She had mean girl swag.
First of all, I don't think she liked you, Shana. I don't think she liked women at that time.
So she was just being black girl mean?
No, I didn't say that. She was just being mean, period. Okay?
Because she was being nice to the boys.
Because white celebrities are mean, black celebrities are mean, Spanish celebrities are mean. Some celebrities just got stank attitude. Okay?
She was nice to the boys. She was just mean to me.
Maybe she's one of those girls that's mean to other girls. They exist.
Mm-hmm.
She's hilarious for that. Because the dude, what's his name?
Andrew Gillum.
Andrew Gillum, right.
I keep wanting to call Gillum because of that Christmas.
Me too. Me too. Oh my God. So I had to do commercials about, Tamron Hall. And this is where he did the interview where he admitted that he's not gay, he's bisexual. And I kept saying Gilliam by mistake. And I had to tell myself, it's Gillum. But go ahead.
Yeah, I was basically just saying, dang, I just lost my train of thought.
Because she was with Gilliam.
Yeah, that just...
Come on, Malcolm. Let it come. Come on, Pooh.
Come on, that's crazy to hear you say that. That was really my first name, though. Now,
Garnett Pooh Briscoe.
I actually forget where I was going with that. My bad. I apologize.
It's okay. It happens. All right. Well, when you remember, let us know. Real quickly, Dancing with the Stars, Carol Baskin. What do we give her out of a 10?
Well, I'm going to give... Go ahead.
The same 11 they gave her yesterday on the show, which, by the way, is the bottom score. I may or may not have watched Dancing with the Stars last night.
Okay, I've never watched Dancing with the Stars until this season.
I was going to say, they really got people for, like, I think, especially to speak to our age group, because I've seen more people watch Dancing with the Stars yesterday than ever watched Dancing with the Stars. Like, I think they did a good job by doing that.
Yeah, Carol is stiff, man. I'm gonna need her to like loosen up a little. Like,
well, she probably knew that commercial was gonna run, during the Dance with the Stars. Let's just start about this commercial real quick.
Yes, because that was petty.
It was so petty when they were like, I'm his daughter. I'm his, for everybody that watched Tiger King and know her husband, her first husband, mysteriously disappeared. When the lawyer said, if you have any information on who did this, or if Carol Baskin did this, but who did this, I was like,
but what is the purpose is what I don't understand. She got all his money. She got all his tigers. She got all his stuff.
Because apparently she cut the kids off from some of the money, and that's their bigger thing is.
Yeah, because they've been talking crap.
Yeah, she doesn't deserve, I guess however his will was like set up, and I remember that, and the thing was, which is why they believe she disappeared him, because his will was set up a certain way, and he apparently was in the process of trying to divorce her. They not gonna find him. That's all I'm saying.
That's why
we just leave it there.
That's exactly why she was stiff.
Who did we like?
Nelly Jackson.
Yes, those are my two. Yeah,
Nelly's cute. That's why I liked him.
I was just surprised.
Here y'all go.
I was like, hey, Nelly.
Nelly did a backflip. I just didn't see him having that in him. Although he was.
Oh yeah, he did do. Yeah. He did do a backflip. I forgot about that.
He was at the bottom though, so like he ain't gonna make it too far. But I don't know. That's one of the ones who were like, I know him. So that was kind of like, oh, this is somebody I know. And then to see him do that, like, oh, that was kind of cool. But Sky Jackson, I think she should win the whole thing. Like, she came out doing the split 21 points in the first episode. She was amazing.
Yeah, Sky was amazing.
She killed it.
She has rhythm, and she actually, like, she can dance. So, how about Jeannie Mai? She was stiff, too.
Boring.
It was like weird to me. Just her whole performance. I just felt weird. And then she was giving me like these stage show smiles, like, and I just felt weird.
And I hate being this guy, and I really hate saying this as a man. But I've never seen her without makeup, and I didn't like what I saw when they showed her without makeup.
That's cold,
bro. You was looking into that too much because I didn't even realize.
As soon as her package started, they show her wake up. I hate when they do that. They show her wake up, and I said, "Oh, that's what you're waking up to?" Like,
Young Jeezy,
and he loves it.
Sometimes it's about the soul, guys.
Their souls connected.
It's about the soul.
But Mina, you made a good point though. I'm starting to that could be a possibility.
Come on now, Pooh. Pooh, don't be listening to her.
Oh, Jeannie Mai?
No, he'll back on the soul connection.
Oh, first of all, y'all be trying to counter my point, and I'm always right. I was right about Brandy.
You right? Brandy,
I be on it with stuff, but y'all just be like, no, and then all of a sudden, I be right.
You were. I don't want to argue. I'm just gonna say it. You weren't right about Jussie Smollett.
First of all, don't talk about Jussie like that. He's a victim.
True.
He duped a lot of people, man.
He's a victim.
Yep, he did.
Okay.
He ain't no damn victim.
Okay, moving on. Our topic for today is a Dexter production about guilty pleasures. So what have you been doing in your spare time, Dexter?
So, like, since this quarantine stuff started, I've been trying to find different ways of entertaining myself. And I feel like I've watched all the movies and TV shows and stuff like that, and I'm like bored with it. So I've started to go back and rewatch Scandal, which is a really good show. I started to rewatch that. And there's a lot of shows people are talking about, P-Valley and stuff like that. And you guys talk about the new season of Power, or the next version of Power. I want to watch this stuff because I want to communicate with people, but I'm just not into it. And I'm like, I need to find something that I want to be into. And one night I was on my phone just like scrolling, and I came across this thing called Blind Items. So basically it's like about celebrity. So they'll, like, say last week they would have said this rapper is a part of a group. He's married to a woman who he's married to like a superstar lady with a WAP. And you like
Offset.
Next week they'll be getting a divorce. So then you'd be like, oh, is this Cardi and Offset? And then it really happens in some of these cases or whatever. And I've been like, I tell you, I'll start reading this stuff at 1:00 in the morning, I'll look up, it'd be 3 o'clock, and I'd be like, damn, he gay.
Wow.
It's not really his. Like, it is, like, it's addictive. It's so silly. It's so stupid. I'm almost embarrassed that I do it. But for the past couple nights, every night, like clockwork, I'll just read this stuff, and it's just dumb.
Wait, so read some to us.
I'm about to say.
So
I might be my new guilty pleasure.
I think the first thing on there is about, like, Andrew Gillum now. So
Gillum.
We butchered.
Like, a lot of them isn't about, like, urban people, though, but, like, so for instance, this one right here, it says, this guy's a mess, yet women still want him. Why is that? Well, let's focus on his relationship with the woman who he's currently rebounding. She's from a famous family. She lives off of fame and publicity. She has no
Kanye West.
Right.
Close. She has no fame or publicity. We'll call her Aries. Watchdog is her ex. He's a drug and alcohol mess. He broke up with her a couple years ago. They have multiple kids together. And then it just goes and goes and goes. And then you have to guess who it is. And it's Scott Disick and Kourtney Kardashian.
Oh, it was close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just, I'm telling you, like, I'm going to send y'all the site. You get into it, I promise you'll be like, damn.
No, I would like that.
Yeah, send it to me. Look.
I would.
Y'all 4 a.m.
I would make it a drinking game, though. So everybody would have to write down their answer, and if you got it wrong, you got to drink.
I like that.
I think you just gave away $1 million idea for them.
You did, Mina.
Listen, that's what happens, you know, when your brain be thinking.
It's always working.
You just give the you know, you sprinkle the magic out there. You know, you just gotta
Guilty
soak it up.
pleasures. Shit. This one is like super dirty. I'm not even proud of myself for this, but like those pimple videos, those pimple popper videos, I cannot take my eye. It is so disgusting.
Oh my God.
I knew that about you.
I
can't watch
take my eyes off of it. It's disgusting. What else is that? YouTube comments is pretty funny. I could definitely get lost in some YouTube comments on.
Just regular, like you're watching a YouTube video and you just keep reading all the comments?
Yes. to see what people are saying. It's always some ridiculousness in there. What else is a guilty pleasure? Man. At this point, too much candy. That's like something that's like, I love candy. I really do. So like I'll be trying to restrict myself on it, but that's definitely it. But the pimple poppers is weird because it's actually, I feel relieved watching it for some reason. I think that's why I like it. I feel like they be popping my pimples or something.
You know, I'm not into that, but for some reason they always pop up. The other day, on my screen it popped up Tonsil Stones.
What is that?
Wait, so I clicked it. So in your tonsils in the back, apparently if you don't maintain like proper hygiene, stones start coming out, right? But you got to press it. So I started, because you know, I went to the dentist today, so I had a fill-in, but I was going down the rabbit hole of why does my tooth hurt? And all the things that it could be, right? So I'm Googling everything, and I came across tonsil stones, which is not related to my tooth, but it was there, like, you know, all the list of dental things. So I'm like, what's tonsil stones? So I click on it, and yeah, you press your tonsils, and if you're not like washing your mouth correctly or whatever, white stones come out of your tonsils. So
are they coming out this way or this way?
They come out this way. It looks like you're popping a pimple, but it's in your mouth in the back. So I literally stumbled upon a video, and it was disgusting. So you should watch that, Garnett.
He all like, that felt good.
Yeah, that sounds nasty enough to watch. It
was disgusting.
It's weird that you say that, because there's this thing that it's this thing that I have like a fear of, I guess. It's called like triphobia. And every time I say it or think about it, I look it up, but I know it's going to give me, I should look it up. I know it's going to give me like hives every single time, but I always have this weird little addiction where like I'll do it.
Right.
It's weird.
That's what that feel like to me.
Triphobia?
Yeah, like triphobia. Look that up.
Oh my gosh.
Ew!
And like talking about it, like now I'm getting like the hot. Don't show me.
Ooh, what is that?
Yeah,
that's
what is that?
Skin?
Yeah, that's for your skin.
It's in irregular patterns of clusters or small holes or bumps.
Look at Dex. Look at that.
It says it is not officially recognized as a mental disorder, but may be diagnosed as a specific phobia if excessive fear or distress occur. Wait, so explain what happens.
Like right now, it's like the little goosebumps. You can't see them, but it's like the little goosebump things that come all over like my body when I look at that. And like now I'm talking about, yeah, girl.
Yeah, that's a scientific way of looking at it. That looks disgusting.
That looks nasty.
And when I first got my iPhone, like the back of it would give me that, like for the longest period of time, and I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do the back of this one.
Wait, it's fear of holes.
It's like a cluster of like holes together.
This looks like a honeycomb. Why are you
I was going to
this?
say, it looks like a if you took all the pomegranate seeds or something. No.
Can I say, y'all ruined a lot of stuff, because I have not peed in the shower ever since y'all started judging me.
Was that your guilty pleasure?
Yeah, that's the crazy thing.
That wasn't my guilty pleasure, but I didn't realize I was doing something I shouldn't be doing. Like, I thought it was common sense. Like, you hop in the shower. If you need to pee, you pee in the shower. Like, but y'all made me feel like I was dirty, so I stopped peeing in the shower.
You could do that.
Okay.
I got all my whole bathroom was wet. I'm like, I don't understand this.
That's what you have to mentally try to tell yourself to go before you get in the shower.
Well, now I do that.
I just sit down. Like how you make kids like sit down before they going on the trip. I just make myself sit there first. Like,
I see that now. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. I was going to say my guilty pleasure is, and it's been this for a long time, like I'm a huge window shopper, but I do it online. So I love to put like stuff in my Amazon cart, and I put stuff in all type of carts. And then I like after I spend hours, like I could put a whole living room together, spend 3 hours to be like, okay, good night. Oh, that's $1,700. Oh my God, that's cheap. Good night. Like I'm buying it, but that is my guilty pleasure. Like, and then I love looking for the better price. So I'll be like, oh, this sofa is this on this site. I'm gonna go look on this site. And half of the time, I'm never gonna buy this stuff, but I just like
somebody is mad. Somebody on the other end of your computer is mad at you.
That's the algorithm.
So it's funny that you say that, because I was gonna say that, and I call it comparison shopping, right? So for me, it's not just like oh, a sofa. I love to compare shop for everything. I like insurance, mortgage, like cheaper interest rates, cheap, like everything. I don't know why I get a kick out of researching, and then I make little graphs and I write it all down, and it's crazy. Like,
supposed to do that. You probably do it because you want to be right, though. Somebody will say like, "Oh, we got insurance over here." You be like, "Ah, no, you don't."
I do it because I'm cheap. I want the cheaper, best buck that I can get. Yeah. So when I was looking for home insurance, I literally went through 5 websites, wrote everything down. I don't know why. I love it, and then sometimes I don't even buy it. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna refinance my mortgage, and then I went and looked at like 3-4 different, and now I haven't even done it. But that's a guilty pleasure, just comparing things and trying to get like a bargain, I guess. I love looking at houses.
Me too.
Like, that's my like when people tell me they want to buy a house, I kind of go overboard. I'll be like, okay, so what's your budget? You know, like I just go, I do too much. And sometimes everybody says that, but not everybody is ready. But I always go off the deep end, and I start looking at houses and sending it to people. And like this guy that I am seeing, he was looking at houses and he was showing me the houses that he wanted. And I was being like such a bee, like, oh, but this backyard isn't enclosed. Oh, this house I was like, this house is really big. Who's going to clean it? And I was like, yo, and I was just being like a negative Nancy, Debbie Downer, like, oh, but look at this house. This house is cheaper. And then I think he got offended because I'm telling him, no, not these houses, But I think it was just like, I love looking at houses and house shopping and helping people. I've done it for a couple of people, whether they want my help or not. So if y'all want to buy a house, please include me.
That's how I am with anything anybody wants to buy. I can hear somebody like, I need to go get Dove deodorant. I'm like, well, it's this price on Amazon, is this price if you go to Walmart, but if you wait till next week, Target is going to have Target Circle, and you can get 15 cents off.
Damn, girl, I need to start bringing you.
So like y'all couponing. Were y'all ever into that? The whole
I was never.
That's
because my grandmother was so into couponing that I was like so against it, because she would make me clip her coupons, and then if I clipped the wrong one, I would get in trouble, because how am I supposed to know what you trying to clip? How I'm supposed to know? So then I just got anti-coupon.
Yeah, I don't do that. And then I would say the last thing is going on Wayfair and looking at, I mean, I really look at stuff that I have no business. Like I was looking
Shut
at
up, Dex, because Dex about to say something smart, but go ahead.
I don't know what Wayfair is.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something about the child trafficking scandal.
Oh.
Yes. I thought that's what he was going to say too.
Oh.
I love Wayfair.
I do too.
I be looking at stuff that I have no business looking at, like chandeliers. What the hell is with a chandelier? But I'd be like, "Ooh, look at this one. This was $250 and it looks banging."
I only went on there to get my bed. That's all. I got my bed from there.
You should have told us. Next time, let us know. We'll send you a butt.
I even have a professional Wayfair account.
Okay, so it kept asking me to sign up for one. I didn't know what it was.
What is it?
It just means that you professionally shop.
What? Hold on. Are they giving you more like a discount?
Look,
it says you get a better discount.
Yeah, this
kept telling me like you need to sign, because I got so much in my cart right now.
These are my
professional.
These are my favorites that I've, and I've literally gone through thousands of pages to highlight these, and I'm not even gonna buy any of them. But if I wanted to, I have them. I know which one, and then I sporadically look to see if the price goes down.
Yes, if they will sell, but they'll send you updates too and let you know.
Yeah, so
I'll be like, what items in my cart? And I'll be like, oh, these 3 sofas I'm not getting. Okay.
That's my guilt. Those are my guilty pleasures, guys. But our guilty pleasures are an extension of our like neuroticisms about ourselves. You know that, right? So my neuroticism is I like to be informed.
I think
mine is I like to shop.
Ew, what's mine? What is mine about? Stop making me look at myself.
It's pleasure. Like yours is like you like pleasure, I guess.
Pleasure,
Out of that. Mine is, I guess, I like attention.
Yeah, like attention.
Right. I think they're like extensions of like personality traits. So for me, I want to be informed, and I always feel like I need to be ready to make a move. So if I need to buy a chandelier, I'm ready. I got it. If I need to refinance my house, I'm ready. I know what mortgage company I want, so yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it, y'all. Y'all ain't got nothing else? No toe licking, nothing nasty?
Oh, no.
One nasty thing that I have, it's like I have this thing where I like to drink a gallon of water. I do like a gallon of water a day now, and I really like to drink it. And like you have to use the bathroom right away, but I like to hold it until like I can't hold it
the last minute.
Oh, it's the best. Like it is like it's amazing. You should try that tomorrow. Drink a gallon of water and then
I've done it.
The bathroom. Don't go. Just keep like drinking the water until you get to the very end of it, and then just go release. I don't know how for women though if it's the same.
It not
hurts.
Yeah, I was about to say it actually like it starts hurting. So bad.
It hurts.
I've done it just because, like you said, just drinking water. Like when I'm trying, I get annoyed. Like I don't feel like going to the bathroom yet. I'm just gonna hold it, and that's not a good idea.
Dex playing with fire, man. Listen, playing with fire, because soon enough, you're going to get up there at age. You're not going to do that no more. You're going to be bursting smoking. You're not even going to feel like you got to go to the bathroom. You go to the bathroom.
Go.
People always do that.
It depends on, like I did the day of the Eagles parade.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go though, but I was just ready. I was stay ready, ain't gotta get ready. I did just in case.
Yo, do you remember?
Hold on. You did what? She did what again?
That don't depend.
It was depends today the Eagles parade because I knew the bathroom. I don't like porta potties.
I was gonna say people wore diapers that day.
You don't depends. They're not diapers. It depends.
They're diapers.
Thank you, Mina. Thank you.
They're adult underwear.
They're diapers.
You prepared to go on yourself?
A lot of people did it, Dex.
But then mentally, I couldn't do it. Like, I was like, so then I'm just staying here all, like, for the rest of the parade. And I'm just, luckily, I was just able to hold it till I got home.
You should have did it.
No, I wasn't going to be. Every time I thought about it, it mentally started bothering me. Like, wait. Now, we got, like, 3 more hours. They not even on this side of Broad Street. What am I going to do? So I just didn't do it.
Well, I don't remember why that was a big story, but I remember a lot
because of the bathrooms. They were telling people like there's going to be too many people for the amount of porta potties.
Right.
Like they already had put it out there. Then I remember we thought we were slick because we went by the art museum. I'm like, oh, let's go into Target. Everybody in their mind, Target's line was wrapped all around. But I had friends at the Logan, so when it ended, I ran into the Logan. They let me go, and I went to the bathroom.
You wasn't the only one, girl.
Point, I was in there for a while, like, woo!
Oh, girl, you was about to go in the diaper.
I got close.
You better get used to it. That's what happens when you get old. Go in the diaper, let it go.
But then the worst part was after that, because I had bought a pack. I didn't know what to do with it. Like, after the parade, I was like, what am I going to do with this pack? It depends. I had no idea.
Like when can you put on regular clothes and people can't tell? Like,
like I had jeans. Well, I had layers on, but they fit like for the women one. I can say like it was like a cloth. Like, I mean, we wear like sanitary napkins, so it was like a bigger version, like an underwear version of it. It was pretty thin too. I was surprised.
I want to make a bet with somebody and tell them if they lose, they have to wear Depends for a day.
No, tell them to wear it and actually go in it.
I was going to say, because wearing it, especially for a woman, it's not going to feel weird. It's not.
Right. I'm like, that's easy. They got to go in it and then sit.
Yeah, that mental going was like. Mm-hmm.
You better get the cornstarch afterwards.
Like, that was running through my head, like, am I going to be cold then? Like, what is going to happen when I'm just standing here for hours? No,
it's hot originally. And then it cools.
But then my girlfriend, she went to one of the porta potties when she was in a line for an hour. She had to go, and I looked at her and go, told you I had that rest of the packet that Depends. You should have listened to me.
I would have went on myself before I go to a public porta potty.
Hello, y'all never heard of fighting a bush? Like, why is going on yourself an option?
We were down by the art museum. It wasn't no bushes. You was gonna go with all them people.
I remember there. I was on there. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't everybody would have seen you in the bush.
Listen, I'm letting you know right. I'm pissing on the street.
Okay, you're a guy. Like, it's so different for girls. We got a lot to, like, we got to be like, hold on.
And
you got to make sure it ain't in your jeans. You're like, hold on.
And then it was dead in the middle of winter. So, you know, your butt cheek is freezing on site.
That's another thing I was going to say, too. If you pee yourself, they're going to see it from the steam. It was cold as hell that day. They don't see it.
I hate you. I hate you. On that note, thank you. I guess I won't talk about me sniffing erasers. Because after that, no one cares.
Just saying.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you for listening and watching.
Oh God, you okay?
You're not going yet.
Let's go.
Come on.
It's the 145th episode of the Mina's House podcast. I'm Mina SayWhat.
I'm Shana B.
Sherlock Homeboi, aka Girl Night Briscoe.
Lucky, aka Dexter 1.
2, 3, we out.